So today we're going to dive into a playbook that wasn't created in some fancy boardroom. Nope. This one was forged in actual life or death hostage situations. We're going to break down the game-changing strategies from former FBI negotiator Chris Voss's amazing book, Never Split the Difference, and turn them into simple tools you can start using, well, pretty much immediately. But first, let me ask you something. Do you ever get that little knot in your stomach when you know you have to negotiate? For a raise, a new car, heck, even just deciding on a restaurant with friends. It's a super common feeling, right? And it almost always comes from one big, flawed idea we all have about what a negotiation is supposed to be. See, most of us walk into a negotiation thinking, okay, my goal here is to be fair, to compromise, maybe meet somewhere in the middle. But deep down, we've got this nagging fear that the person across from us, they're just there to win. And that instantly turns the whole thing into a battle, where every little concession feels like a loss. It's exhausting, it's stressful, and according to the FBI's top experts, it's also completely the wrong way to look at it. Now, just for a second, I want you to imagine a negotiation where splitting the difference is totally off the table. I mean, you can't exactly compromise and say, okay, you can have half the hostages. This is the world where these techniques came from. A world where truly understanding the other person isn't just a tactic, it's the only thing that works. And that brings us to the playbook of Chris Voss, the former lead international hostage negotiator for the FBI. He was on the front lines and saw that the old school, logical, let's make a deal kind of negotiation just fell apart under extreme pressure. What actually worked with a deep, almost radical understanding of human psychology, a set of tools designed not to overpower someone, but to genuinely persuade them. And this quote right here, this is the core mindset shift. It's huge. The idea is that negotiation isn't you versus them, it's you and them versus the problem. Suddenly, your counterpart isn't an adversary, they're your partner in figuring this thing out. And the whole foundation for this approach is a powerful concept he calls tactical empathy. Now, tactical empathy isn't about being nice or trying to feel their pain. It's a skill. It's about getting a read on their perspective. What are they afraid of? What do they really want? And then saying that understanding out loud, back to them. This is how you start to build the trust you need to actually get somewhere. So, okay, how do we do it? All right, our first tool is called mirroring. And honestly, it's one of the simplest and most mind-blowingly effective techniques you can learn. All it is repeating the last 1 to 3 words the other person just said. That's it. It's this almost subconscious way to build instant rapport. Just look at the difference here. The standard reply is transactional. It just jumps to the next point. But the mirroring reply, by just repeating those last few words back as a question, you invite them to keep talking. It makes them feel heard, and they'll often just start volunteering information you never would have gotten otherwise. And the best part, it's not confrontational at all. Okay, on to our second tool. This one is all about getting ahead of any tension before it has a chance to blow up the conversation. It's called labeling. You're basically spotting an emotion in your counterpart and calling it out in a calm, respectful way. It seriously works like a magic trick to neutralize any bad vibes. And the formula couldn't be easier. You start with a gentle opener, like, it seems like, or it sounds like, and then you just name the emotion you think you're seeing. So if your boss looks really stressed, you might say, it seems like you're under a ton of pressure with this deadline. And then, this is the most important part. You just shut up, be quiet, let them fill the silence. They'll either agree and tell you more, or they'll correct you, which, guess what, also gives you more insight. It's a win-win. All right, this next one might feel a little weird at first, maybe even totally backwards. We're all taught to be afraid of the word no, right? We hear no and we think, okay, it's over, I failed. But Voss says that no is actually where the real negotiation starts. It's a word that, believe it or not, makes the other person feel safe and in control. So why is getting a no better than chasing a yes? Well, it's because not all yeses mean the same thing. You've got your counterfeit yes, which is just someone trying to get you off their back. Then there's the confirmation yes, which is just a simple but doesn't mean they'll do anything. Only the third type, the commitment yes, is what you're actually after. And chasing yes from the start usually just gets you one of those first 2 useless ones. But no? No is pure clarity. It's solid gold. When someone says no, they're not shutting you down. They're telling you what doesn't work for them. And that's the first step to figuring out what does. If a client says, no, I can't do that price, that's not the end. That's your invitation to ask, okay, what part of the price is the issue? See, no isn't failure. It's just really, really useful information. So, what does all this FBI level stuff mean for you and me? Well, here's the thing. These tools weren't really designed for bank robbers. They were designed for humans. They work because they tap into the way our brains are actually wired, not the way we think they should be. So let's lock this in. This is your new toolkit. You're going to use mirroring to build a quick connection and get them to open up. You'll use labeling to neutralize their fears and prove you're really listening. And you're going to learn to welcome the word no because you'll know it's the real start of a productive talk, not the end. And I'll leave you with this thought. The moment you stop seeing negotiation as a battle and start seeing it as a puzzle that you and the other person are solving together, everything changes. The next time you walk into one of these conversations, just remember, the person sitting across from you has all the clues. Your only job is to listen well enough to find them.